everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today I have a huge declutter for you of my entire makeup collection. So I'm not going to waste time blabbering with this intro. I'm just going to jump right in. Anything that's kind of on the chopping block at the end of this declutter, I'm going to use in my next makeup and musings video, which is going up on March 4th, I believe. So I'm going to do a full face of all of the things in my collection that are kind of not something I'm loving right now and probably just need to be decluttered, but I want to give them like one more chance to redeem themselves before I get rid of them. Okay, so really focusing here on like one box at a time, I think will really help me. So first I'm just gonna go ahead and pull out primers, setting spray type things versus bronzers, which are the two kind of products in this box. Okay, so we've got primers, setting sprays, etc. over here, and bronzers over here. I'm gonna move the bronzers out for right now. We'll get to those in a second. Okay, so just to preface this by saying this is going to be my least brutal part of this declutter because as you can see, I have a fairly small collection to begin with. These two items are actually currently part of my project pan, so spoiler for those of you who are following along with that as well. I'm making pretty significant progress on them. So these are the brightening serum and cooling water from Milk Makeup, and I like these okay. I don't love them. I'm just going to use them up and toss the packaging. One that I know I'm keeping also from Milk Makeup is the Hydro Grip Primer. This is one of my all-time favorite primers. It hydrates my skin, but it also leaves my skin with this texture that allows my makeup to really stick to it and stay all day. Another one that I absolutely love is the NYX Angel Veil. Really does blur my pores fairly well. It's definitely silicone based, so if you don't like that, steer clear, but I like this. One I'm not so sure about is this Visible Lift Luminous Serum Tint from L'Oreal. So I don't purchase L'Oreal anymore because they're not a cruelty-free brand. This is a really beautiful product in general. Like in theory, I really like this. It just adds like a little bit of a sheen to your skin, like you can see that glow there. And I will say on my hand, I really like it. However, on my face, I feel like it adds a little bit of texture unnecessarily. I think I'm gonna keep it because I have a lot left in here. I don't wanna just get rid of it, and I can't really think of anyone in my life who would go for a product like this. The Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer, I'm holding on to this. It's fairly new in my collection. I'm still kind of testing it out. My last primer here is an eyeshadow primer from Milani. I'm also testing this out. It's new in my collection. I don't usually use eyeshadow primers, but lately I've been having a lot more creasing with my eyeshadow than I like. So I'm actually just kind of testing this out to see if I feel like it makes any difference. And last up here, I have the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I love this stuff. I don't use setting spray very often, so this is my only setting spray right now. So bottom line here is I started and ended with the exact same number of these things. These two will hopefully be gone soon, and this one may or may not stick around. Just looping back around to this, I think this would be a good candidate for that kind of last chance video I talked about at the beginning where I'm just going to do a full face of things I'm not quite sure about yet. So I'll definitely use it in that video, and maybe that will help me solidify my thoughts. Okay, so bringing out the other half of that same bucket is my bronzers. So I've got 4 powder bronzers and 3 cream bronzers, coincidentally all stick format. So let's go ahead and start with the powders. Okay, so first up here, I'll just start with the one I know for sure I'm keeping no matter what. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, and I have the shade Forever Sun-Kissed. Super, super gorgeous bronzer shade for my kind of fair skin, but it's also deep enough that I can still use it when I'm a little more tan in the summer. And then these 3 bronzers are really, really hard for me to get super excited about. let's jump to one that I know I'm getting rid of. This is the Ulta Beauty Matte Bronzer. I got this years and years and years and years ago. It was my only bronzer for a super long time, and I don't really think there's anything wrong with it, but it's definitely too deep for my skin tone on like an average basis. So most of the year I cannot use this and still have it look like a fairly natural bronze. So I think it's just time to let it go now that I have other shades and other formulas that I like better. And then these two bronzers, let's just talk about them each, I guess, and see where my thoughts and feelings go. So this first one here is the Instant Tan Wash Off Face Powder, aka bronzer, from Daniel Sandler Cosmetics, and it's good. I got it free with a purchase of like all my Daniel Sandler blushes, which I really, really wanted, and you'll see here when I do blush, I really love. This is okay, it's fine. What I do like about it is it goes on super, super sheer and you can really blend it out. So even though it looks pretty dark in the pan, when you put it on, it's not so overwhelming or so orange toned. So I do like it for that, and I think I'll hold on to it. And then this Nabla Skin Bronzing powder. This is such a frustrating thing to me because I just bought this. I've only used it a handful of times, but I'll link up in the corner my first impressions of this, and that first impressions is essentially still accurate. I just feel like none of this product picks up on my brush. Obviously it does, because you can see the letters are wearing down, and when I put the brush to my face, bronzer comes off. So like there is bronzer there. It's just a really disorienting experience, and I'm not really enjoying the process of applying it. And if I don't enjoy my makeup, it's hard for me to reach for it. So I'm definitely keeping this for now. I might use it in that kind of like last chance video and see how it goes. Bringing the creams back in. If you've been watching my channel at all, you know I'm keeping this. It's the Alma Beauty Double Take contour stick. I have the shade White Pearl, and this one's actually a contour slash bronzer shade on one side, and then the other side has a highlighter. So I will count this in both, but just so you know, I love both formulas and no way would I part with this. I have the same feeling about my Milk Makeup matte bronzer in the shade Baked. I absolutely love this. I've had this a lot longer than the Alma Beauty one. And since I bought that Alma Beauty one, this one hasn't been getting as much love on my channel, but it's still a classic. It is still gorgeous. It's the perfect tone. It blends out like a dream, and it actually lasts way, way, way longer on my face than the Alma Beauty one. So this one gives me more of like a fresh, dewy finish, and this one really does dry down matte, and therefore it lasts quite a bit longer on my skin. And then last up here is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Foundation Stick in the shade Cocoa. I got it on clearance, and I actually bought this before I bought either of those other two products because I wanted to try out a cream bronzer to see how I liked the application before investing in something a little pricier. So I bought this a long, long time ago. Honestly, it's not probably expired, it's definitely expired, and I can tell because it smells funky. So now that I have two good products in this stick bronzer category, I definitely don't need to hold on to this anymore. Okay, so I am keeping these 5 bronzers and getting rid of these 2. Okay, the other one of this little kind of shaped box is blush and highlighter. So I'm gonna unload these and separate them into blush and highlighter. I'll probably do blush first, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here is my blush collection, and this one is going to be an interesting process of elimination. I know there's some stuff I want to get rid of here, but I'm not quite sure what yet, but I do feel a little overwhelmed by my options. I do just want to mention, this is my Salt New York little mini palette, and I have 4 different tints in here. So I do have one more bronzer than I counted before. I'm definitely keeping this. I love this bronzer, but I put this with the blush and highlight section because I have 2 blushes and 1 highlighter in here. Let's go ahead and start with creams, I guess, since we're kind of already here talking about them. So let's just start with Salt New York. I'm definitely keeping all of these. These two shades down here are the blush shades. This one right here is called Cranberry. It's like a true red, and it sheers out to kind of like a pinky red, and I absolutely love it. And this one is Spice, which is a really gorgeous, it's definitely got like a brown tone base, and then it's kind of like rosy on top of that, and I really, really love this shade on my skin tone. I wasn't totally sure about either one of these when I ordered them, but I wanted to add something kind of more unique to my collection, and they definitely did that. So I love this. I'm also, spoiler alert, keeping this highlighter and the bronzer as well. These are my Daniel Sandler watercolor cheek colors. These are pretty new to my collection, and I have the shade Caress, which is like a gorgeous peachy pink, and then I have the shade Rose Glow, which is a little more pink than Caress, and it also is a shimmer illuminator formula, so it's like a highlight. I adore both of these. I just did a full kind of review of all my Daniel Sandler products, so I'll link that in the corner if you're curious my thoughts on these. Also Daniel Sandler, this is the gel formula. I have it in the shade Petal, and this is really gorgeous, also peachy pink. So am I a little bit redundant in my own collection here? Absolutely. Oh, you can probably barely see that. I shared it out a little too much. Let's see. Yeah, can't even see it. But anyway, it's about the same shade as Caress. They're really not too different. You can see the swatches again in that same video. Regardless, having this format, which is super, super user-friendly and awesome for travel, is beneficial to me. So I'll be keeping them both, even though they're similar tones. Okay, and now on to things I'm not as thrilled with. The Maybelline Cheek Heat. This is part of my project pan as well. I'm trying to just use this up. I don't want to toss it. I do like the shade. The formula is just horrendous. It does absolutely nothing that I want. It emphasizes my pores, and it goes on extremely pigmented to the point where I'm like scared to apply it. And then in like 10 minutes, it has faded. Like literally the amount of time it takes for me to finish the rest of my face of makeup, it has faded enough that I feel I need to put on another layer. But it doesn't layer over powders, and so if I've already powdered any part of my face or cheeks, I just can't go back in with another layer, and I'm forced to just layer it with a powder blush anyway, so I just don't see the point. This I'm getting rid of now. This has met its end here for me. This is the e.l.f., what are you called? Okay, it's the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick, and I have it in the shade Radiant Bronze, and I was so excited about this shade because, let me just swatch it here really quick, because I wanted it to be like a blush, bronzer, highlighter combo deal. And like in theory, I think it would have been that for me. Like I do think that that's kind of the tone that I would have needed for a product that was gonna do all of the things for my cheek at once. However, the sparkly aspect of this, I'm not sure you can see it on camera right now, but it's just glitter, and I absolutely hate how it looks. The glitter totally emphasizes texture on my cheeks, which is the main part of my face where I have pores, so it essentially renders this useless for me. I'm never going to put on just glitter onto my face. And this Milk Makeup Glow Oil Lip and Cheek in the shade Glimmer is an identical scenario. So I like the shade overall, although it's really sheer. So like you sheer this out, and because it's an oil, you really can't hardly even see anything once it's sheared out. I don't believe that this is actually going to work on your lips at all, and I think it barely works on your cheeks because of that kind of quality that it really shears out to nothing. But the same thing applies as did with that e.l.f. product. It's got glitter in there, and I'm just not down for it, so it's got to go. Over to the powder side, I don't feel like I have a ton here, and I don't really feel like anything is duping itself, so this may be not much of a declutter here. We'll start here. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush. So I have a bronzer of this that I just showed, and then I have this blush as well. And this is in the shade, what is this called? Always Earthy. And I really love it. It's definitely an earthy sort of tone. When I want a really warm cheek, I go for this. It's nice, it's matte, and it stays on my cheeks a really long time. So that's the biggest benefit to me, is that it's very long lasting. The Essence Satin Touch Blush. This is a stunning blush. I think these are $3. They might be discontinuing like this exact format because I can only find it on the Essence website, but I know I bought this at Ulta. I have the shade Satin Love, and it is just flawless. It's beautiful, and this one has just like the slightest sheen to it. It is so beautiful, doesn't emphasize the pores on my cheeks at all. Truly a gorgeous blush. This Kaleido Cosmetics is also beautiful. I got this from my older sister who got it in like an Ipsy or something similar. This is the Skin Blush in Prima Donna, and it's the only thing I have that's like a true pink. So I'm gonna keep it. Again, does not emphasize texture, but has a really beautiful like sheen to it. So I love that. And similarly, this Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, it's a YouTube classic. I've had this for so long, and I still love it. It's the only thing I have that's this like orange leaning. My Daniel Sandlers are definitely like peachy tones, but they're more pinky peach, whereas this is definitely like an orangey peach, you know, like almost like a tangerine peach. So I want to keep this as well. Again, a really natural sheen to it without emphasizing pores. This Milani blush palette, it's the Rose Powder Blush in the shade Flowers of Love. They had a few different versions of this like 3-pan style, and overall I do like it. I hate this. I hate this shade. It just is like a white powder on my cheeks. I can't even imagine if you were like as pale goes that this would be a flattering shade on you. I think it's useless. That being said, these two I do like. This one I guess is sort of similar to my Essence one, which is interesting and something I haven't ever noticed. Yeah, I mean, those are fairly similar tones. But as you can see, I dip into this middle shade quite a bit. I almost feel like I just want to take that out of there somehow. I want to try to get it out and just keep that middle one. I think this is another good candidate for that kind of like last chance products, just to see how I'm really feeling about it. Okay, so I'm keeping all of these, which is essentially all of them. The only two things I'm getting rid of officially are the e.l.f. and the Milk makeup. And then again, as a reminder, this will hopefully be out of my collection soon after I finish it up in my project pan. And then this one's kind of on the chopping block. I'm gonna evaluate it in that makeup and musings video. Okay, and then we have highlighter, and I'm just now realizing this illuminator from Daniel Sandler, the one in Rose Glow, probably should have been in highlighters because that's how I use it. I very rarely use this like all over my cheeks like a blush, but for some reason I think of this and Caress as kind of like a pair. So just a note, this probably should be in this category, but I already did it. And then same note for that Salt New York palette, I'm definitely keeping the highlighter in that, and then the Alma Beauty Double Take Contour Stick, that's the bronzer and highlighter stick. I'm keeping that as well. So since those were all creams, and I have one more cream here, let's go ahead and just wrap that up. This Milk Makeup highlighter stick in the shade Blitzed. I hate this thing. Just like my notes with those other cheek products I didn't like, my issue with this is that it just has tons of glitter. Like, I just don't understand, is there this big of a market for like cheek products with just literal glitter chunks and then like no base pigment? Like this, once you shear it out, it is truly like just glitter. I apologize if you love glitter on your face, but at least with me, with like the texture I have on my cheeks, something like this is just a complete no-go. So that one's gone. Then my 4 powder highlighters. To be honest, I'm going to keep all of these. They all serve very different purposes for me. So the Juvia's Place, the Tribe highlighter, this is so beautiful. I can't even express to you. Let's just do a small swatch. I don't love swatching like bronzers and blushes, but I do love swatching highlighters. It's definitely cool tone, but it's just so reflective. Definitely keeping that. My Essence Pure Nude highlighter is the first highlighter I ever bought, and in comparison to the Juvia's Place, it literally looks like not even a highlighter. But that's why I like having both in my collection, because it's such a natural highlight and it's so close to my actual skin tone that it doesn't ever make any sort of like stripe on my skin. It just literally looks like my skin is glowing. The Estate Cosmetics I'm not going to swatch because it actually gives a similar effect to the Essence Pure Nude, except the difference is I can really, really, really build it up, and it's a slightly more kind of yellow toned highlight. So this is, again, Estate Cosmetics Do Me Baked Highlighter in the shade Lit. And then on a similar note to those, another really natural highlighter in just a slightly different shade is the Nabla Skin Glazing in Privilege. So this one's like a nice rose gold, and I guess I'll swatch this one, although it doesn't swatch super great. So we'll see how it looks. Yeah, it just doesn't, you can't really tell on camera, but it's so, so, so stunning. And I don't have another rose gold powder highlight, so I'll keep this one as well. So ultimately, I'm keeping all 4 of my powders, getting rid of this one, and then keeping those other highlighters I mentioned earlier, kind of that are joint categories. Okay, so let's do an exciting category to kind of break up the monotony a bit. I'm gonna switch over to eyeshadow palettes. So in this box, I have kind of all my eye products, and here I have like liquid or cream shadows, eyeliners, etc. And then I have all my palettes over on this side. So I'm gonna take the palettes out and we'll start there. I'm just going to take them off the table as I sort because there's not much room to kind of make piles that you can still see. So let's just start up here and go from there. I really like both of these bite-size palettes from e.l.f. I have the Pumpkin Pie and the Berry Bad. I will say the Berry Bad's a little duplicative in my collection. I'm going to hold on to both of these right now, and maybe I'll loop back to this one later on. The Aether Beauty Ametrine Mini Crystal Palette is absolutely staying in my collection. I love all 4 of these shades, and the quality is just really, really outstanding. The Ofra Sweet Dreams palette, I really, really love this as well. I love these peachy tones. This center shade is actually their highlighter formula. So yet again, I have a highlighter in a weird place in my collection. And I don't think I've ever actually used it as a highlighter because I always forget that I have it. So that's kind of a bummer. I wish I could find a better way to categorize this product, but unfortunately, I think it is what it is. I do really, really like this. I wish that this shimmer were a little more intense because these two actually come out looking almost the same on the eyes. So that's kind of the only downfall of this palette to me, but I like it enough to keep it. Okay, let's do these 2 little guys. Spoiler, I'm getting rid of both. It's the Cello Beauty and Ariza Beauty little quads. Both of these are just no's for me. They have very boring matte colors. And then these shimmers have hard pan after like barely any time, and I cannot get it scraped off the top. So this is just kind of not usable anymore. And this one, these 2 shimmers are too flaky for my taste. They get all over my face, and they're 2 shades that I don't typically gravitate towards anyway. So that combination kind of makes this a dud for me. Hopping over here to my Juvia's Place palettes, I'm going to keep all 3. I'm just going to show you the insides. The shimmers from Juvia's Place are stunning. The mattes are good. And I love the unique color stories. So I'm definitely keeping them. This is the Magic Mini. The Nomad might be like my perfect palette. I love this thing. So definitely keeping this. And the Masquerade Mini is really gorgeous as well. I especially love this bottom half that's like all neutrals. And then this shade Calabar here. This is a really good one. Okay, easy decision here. The ABH Sultry. I just got this finally after kind of wishing I had purchased it 2 years ago when they first launched it. I got it in 2020 during their holiday re-release. So I love this so far, and I can't wait to play with it some more. My Sydney Grace singles, I am keeping all of these. I just did a review of Sydney Grace of all these singles that I have, and the only one that's kind of a dud for me is this one, Speedway. And mine just has hard pan, and I don't know why. I've tried to scrape it off, and I can't. And it still works okay on my eyes. So I'm going to keep it, but I'm a little disappointed with that one shadow. The rest are stunning. Then I have 3 here. Let's just go with this Stila one real quick. This is from many years ago. At this point, probably like more than 5 years. This is the Eyes Are the Window Shadow Palette in the shade Soul. And it's essentially just a warm and cool tone neutral palette. And when it came out, that was like pretty innovative. Now it sounds sort of ridiculous to think that that would be like anything outstanding, but you can see I loved this like cool toned brown matte here. Love this to death. I just now have this shade other places in my collection. And honestly, the only reason I've been keeping this around is for this shade right here. I haven't found another neutral bronze this shade. It seems like it would be such an easy shade to dupe, but it really, really hasn't been. So I've been holding on to this palette just so that I could look for that shade. But I did find it recently in my Sultry palette. Let me just grab that. So they don't look that similar in the pan, but this shade and this shade Cinder are super, super, super similar when they're swatched out. And honestly, on my eyes, there's just no way I'd be able to tell the difference anyway. So I think it's time to finally let this one go now that I've found something to replace that bronze. Okay, the Going Coconuts palette, I absolutely adore. Do I think it's redundant within itself? Yes. I mean, Coolata and Lovely Bunch look identical on the eyes. There's no difference. Even Get Kraken essentially looks the same as those two. It's like one of those they have that's like a matte, but it has a little shimmer in it. But it looks like a matte once you blend it out. So like these three shades are essentially just the same thing. But I really love the shade Nutty. I love the shade Shell Yeah. And Doc Coco is like one of my to be top favorite shades of all time. Overall, I love this palette and I'm definitely going to hold on to it. And then we come to the one I've been avoiding a conversation about. This is the Milani Pure Passion eyeshadow palette. This format from Milani is actually being discontinued, which is a huge bummer to me because at the price point these are at, they're really good quality shadows. However, when I bought this, I literally only owned that Stila palette and my Going Coconuts palette. And then I had this, my third palette in my collection. And so for me, it was really unique at the time because I didn't have any of these like berry tones. This top portion was essentially stuff I already had, but this bottom half was really unique for me. But now looping back to kind of that e.l.f. palette that I was talking about earlier, the Berry Bad palette, I see now that they are essentially dupes for each other. So I think maybe during that video I keep mentioning throughout this video, I might do like a last chance for the Milani Pure Passion and I'll compare it to my e.l.f. Bite Size. So like I'll do the e.l.f. on one eye and the Milani on the other. Like these two shades look the same, these two shades look the same, these two are identical, and then this one, I mean, if I mixed those two together, I'd get this, and I have these shades elsewhere in my collection. So I think I need to probably put these two head to head. And if they are similar enough, I think it's time to let the Milani go because I prefer this smaller format of the e.l.f. And honestly, the quality is about the same between the two. Here's what I'm keeping from my eyeshadow palette collection. It is the majority of the items. I'm getting rid of these two small guys. I'm getting rid of my beloved Stila Eyes Are the Window. I might hold on to this. It was a gift from my siblings, so I might hold on to it just like for nostalgia, but it won't be in my like active collection anymore. And then the Milani Pure Passion is on the chopping block, depending on how things go with the e.l.f. Berry Bad. Then in that same like eyeshadow box, I have this little bag of all my other like miscellaneous eye products. So we'll go through these quickly as well. Right off the bat, I know I can pull both of these out. I'm definitely keeping them. It's the Glossier Skywash and the Glossier Lid Star. These were a gift from my future sister-in-law, Jane, and I really appreciate them, and I'm still getting to know them a little better, so I definitely want to keep them around. I know that you all know I'm definitely keeping this. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Amaze. It's by far my favorite lid topper shade that I've ever tried. And this is my other ColourPop Super Shock, and it's in the shade Bill. And I really, really, really loved this for a really, really, really long time. But I have other mauve shadows now that are a little easier to use, and I think I'm more likely to reach for them. I think I'll hold on to this just because I do like it for travel. Like these two, I think I showed this in a video once. I think I did a video with this look. It would have been just these two shadows together, and I actually really, really love how they look kind of side by side. So I might just hold on to it for now. I think I need to keep it. I need to keep it. This e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick I really love as well. It's just like a really gorgeous inner corner shade or brow bone highlight. It's just like a perfect pearl shade. I mean, like literally that's the name of the shadow, and I agree. Then here we have some things that I can get rid of. This is a gold eyeliner from, I don't even know, Rimmel London. Who knows when I even bought this. This is definitely way too old to use on my eyes, and also I don't know what I thought I wanted a gold eyeliner for. I know myself a little better now, and I know I would absolutely never use this. And actually, same story with this Ulta one. I mean, I think the color selection here is a little better. I have like a copper on one side, and this side is like an army green shimmer. So I think like the color selection here was better than here, but the same principle applies. I'm just not a colored eyeliner person, and I don't see any reason to keep these very, very old eyeliner pencils in my collection anymore. And these two I'm actually currently using. This is just a black felt tip liquid liner, and this is just a brown pencil liner. Nothing fancy at all here. Nothing special about these two formulas. I have no allegiance to these. I actually have some backup brown and black eyeliners that I'm eager to get to. I'm just going to use these guys up first. So not brutal here at all. I'm keeping all of these, getting rid of these two. So here is kind of my final eye product collection after cleaning all of that up. Then I have this gigantic buddy that has everything else. So like concealer, powder, everything. So I'm just gonna break it up off camera, and I'll be back with some categories to go through. All right, so first little tiny category here is just lip liners. I'm keeping all of these. I just have 2 of the NYX Slim Lip Pencils and 3 Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liners. I like both of these formulas for different reasons, so I'm keeping them all. Which then brings us to other lip products. This is how I store them. I hate this storage situation. I definitely need to figure something else out, but for now, this is what I've got. So I'm gonna separate out lip gloss versus lipstick. Over here in the lip gloss category, I only have 5. I love my Tower 28. I love my pink sparkly Milani. I love my pink butter gloss, and I love my clear lip oil from Kosas. So that leaves me with the e.l.f. High Shine Intense Gloss, and this I hate. It is so thick, so sticky. I literally can't even get it to spread across my lips with a doe foot, so this one needs to go. The rest I'm keeping, and I'm gonna put those back. And now we have lipstick. And like, yes, technically there are multiple categories in here. Like this is like a lip tint, this is a full liquid lipstick, etc. So like there are different categories, but in my mind, these are all the same. Like these are the colors I would put on my lip after a lip liner. So first up, I wanna pick out some of these kind of like mauvey, pinky toned things. Okay, so all of these lipsticks, oh, and actually this one, oh geez, are more or less like the exact same color. I mean, I was swatching the other day, and this is actually what prompted an entire declutter for me. I realized that a ton of my lipsticks were essentially identical. These all are really, really, really similar. So the first thing here is the Physicians Formula Healthy Lip, and this is in the shade Dose of Rose. I really love this, but it's old, and I know it's old because it separates on my lips now, and it never used to do that, so this one can go. Same situation with this Maybelline Matte Almond Rose is the shade. You'll see it's very similar shade, different finish, but similar shade, and also very old, and I know it needs to go. This one I am torn about. You can't even tell what it is. It's the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Frida, and this is also very old, I will admit, but it's a shade that I absolutely love. And so this one, if I realize one of these is identical, I'll get rid of this. If not, I have to hold on to it just because I love this shade so much. Okay, this one might be a little bit off on the shade. This is the Ofra Flexi Slick in the shade Slip, and I think this one's like just a little bit more cool toned. Yep, so that one's more cool toned. Definitely a unique formula in my collection, so I definitely want to keep that. This one is also going to be different. The e.l.f. Pink Minx. This one's going to be a lot more like peachy pink. Although, like, is that really that different from Frida? I don't know. I think those are pretty dang similar. I really haven't worn this one yet that much because since it's a little peachier, it feels like a summer shade to me, but I got it in like late summer, almost fall. So I'm gonna hold on to this one, but likely it'll be a chopping block item this summer because I don't super love the formula. So we'll see after I test it out a little more. And then down to two here that I think might be the closest match for Frida, actually. This is the Mented Semi-Matte Lipstick in the shade Pretty in Pink. Oh yeah, see, we're getting there. So those are really similar. This is a little more mauve, this is a little more peach, but I mean, really on my lips, would I know the difference? I don't know. And I love this Mented formula. And then the Real Hair Cosmetics Girl Power lipstick here is the other one. Oh, there we go. All right, I can, I think, safely probably get rid of Frida, sadly, but it's time. In my pinky mauve category, these four survived. This one will likely not survive the summer. I don't think. I just feel, I don't know, I feel conflicted already about the formula, but I want to give the shade a chance this summer. And then these three go primarily because they're old. Okay, so I actually found this sort of like color family approach helpful. So I'm gonna do the same thing with my reds. Let's just go ahead and start with the first red lipstick I ever bought. This is the Makeup Forever Moulin Rouge red lipstick. And it truly was a life-changing moment for me. I realized how much I loved red lipstick on my skin tone. It's something I never thought I would like or feel bold enough to wear. And so this has sentimental value to me, but it's way too old to use on my lips anymore. And it's a little bit more bright than I now like my reds. So I'm gonna let this one go, but I do love it. Same with Lipstick Queen. For some reason, I got on this Lipstick Queen kick a few years ago, and this is the Cupid's Bow in Ovid. And I like it. It's fine. It was a decent formula, but it did move over my lips a little bit and gave me some red lipstick anxiety when I wore it because I thought I was getting it all over my teeth always. And it's a little old now, so I'll let it go. This one is the shade Fringe from Kosas in their Weightless lipstick formula, and you'll see it's a little different than the others. It's a little bit more of like an orangey, brownie brick red, but I really like this formula, so I'm keeping that. And also listen how wonderful that snap is. Yeah. So that's a keep. And then my Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Atlantic City, you all know, is definitely staying in my collection. I'll swatch it just so you can see it next to everything else. And you can see that it's like just a little bit deeper than these kind of reds I had started buying. And I like the deeper shade on my skin tone. So now that I know that, I feel comfortable getting rid of those other reds. And then these two from Lipstick Queen are kind of weird reds. They're both like sheer reds. So this one is called Saint Fire Red. And let me just try to swatch it. Yeah, I can. It's way too orangey red for me, even as a sheer product. So this one definitely gets to leave now. This one I'm a little torn on. This is the shade Medieval, and it's like brand new. I almost didn't use this at all, and I have some guilt about that. And then also, it's more of like a pink red sheer color. I just don't wear shades like this, like ever. Like I can't even think of a makeup look where I would want to reach for that shade, but I'm so hesitant to get rid of it for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe this one goes in the chopping block look as well. Yeah, I think this one goes in the chopping block look. So again, I'm keeping these three, although this one may not stick around much longer. And I'm getting rid of these three reds. Okay, I'm kind of out of room, but I think those are my biggest categories to actually compare. The rest here are sort of wild cards. So let's go ahead and just go through them kind of one at a time. Oh, I lied. I do want to compare this one with one that I have. So this is Lipstick Queen. Again, guys, I don't know. I went through a phase, okay? This is Saint Nude. And I liked that it was a really nice, warm-toned, sort of pinky nude. And I want to swatch it next to Vegas from Kosas, which is a new lipstick for me. And I think this one's much more brown. Yes, way more brown. Wow, those are more different than I expected, actually. That leaves me feeling conflicted. Let me swatch my ColourPop just a tint with these as well, because it's also like that warm nude shade. But see, the ColourPop is more similar to Vegas than it is to Saint Nude. But you know what? I didn't wear this enough to justify keeping it, and it's not a cruelty-free brand, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the Lipstick Queen, and I'm gonna actually keep both of these. Maybe it's just that with time, I realized that I like these true nudes a little bit better than the pinky nude. I guess for the heck of it, I might as well swatch the rest of these for you. So this is another little Lipstick Queen. This is that like color changing one, so I'm not gonna swatch this because it won't look like the right color. But on me, it turned like the worst shade of pink of all time. So I actually really don't like this product. I don't even know why I still have it this long. This is the shade Cider from e.l.f. It's their Seriously Satin lipsticks. I guess this sort of goes in this brownie nude category there. I really love this shade for fall. Maybe next to that, I'll swatch my NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in the shade Dance Fever. And this one I'm really conflicted about as well. It's so much more like gray toned than my other nude sorts of lipsticks, and I think I have to keep it. I just really love this shade, and I have never found something even close to that before, and I think it would be such a hard shade for me to try to dupe online or without swatching stuff in stores, which right now you can't do. So I think I have to hold on to it at least until things open back up and I can really dupe this out. Okay, I'm not gonna swatch a tinted lip balm for you, but this is my Honest Beauty tinted lip balm in the shade Summer Melon. I love this. This Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick, I have it in the shade Unzipped, and it came free with an Ofra order that I got, and I actually have not even opened it yet. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I want to use this for myself or kind of save it up for some sort of giveaway on my channel or something like that. Just because I don't think it's a shade that's going to flatter me personally, so I don't want to waste this whole tube of lipstick. So I'm torn on what to do with this. I'm going to keep it in my collection for now, but I'm not sure it'll really make an appearance on my channel. Okay, the MAC lipstick in Modesty. It's the Cream Sheen formula, and let's just swatch it like here-ish. So there it is. It's my all-time favorite lipstick color. I know MAC is not cruelty-free by any stretch of the imagination, but I love this lipstick. The formula, the finish, the color, everything. I cannot let this thing go. It's the lipstick I imagine myself wearing on my wedding day, and so it will at least stay in my collection until I'm married. Down to two here, which are sort of in the same vein. This is the NYX Slip Tease in the shade Bang Bang. I really love this. Mine may be going bad soon, but I'm gonna keep it until it like really officially goes bad. This is my most like vampy lipstick that's not a red. It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's perfect on my skin tone. I absolutely adore it. And then this is the Kosas lipstick in the shade Royal. I like this, and also now that I've used it on myself, I'm gonna keep it, even though like it's not a shade I typically would pick or, losing this, or like feel super drawn to, but I've already used it, so it's already kind of sullied, but I do like it in general. So bringing them all back out, here are my lipsticks that I'm keeping. I feel really good about this. I feel like I narrowed it down to really, truly things I love. And here are the things I'm getting rid of. Don't need these anymore. Although I still don't love this storage situation for my lip products, it feels more manageable now that it's narrowed down. Okay, I own 4 face powders, and I'm keeping them all for right now. This one's in my project pan. I eventually will get rid of it when I feel like it's run its course. The Maybelline Fit Me loose powder is something I haven't found a good alternative for in the cruelty-free world, so I really love this, and I don't want to part ways with it, and I have a ton left in this container. Bare Minerals Mineral Veil is super new to me, so definitely keeping that. And this NYX powder, this could be on the chopping block for me, actually. I think I'll put this in the chopping block video. It's fine. It's just that, like, I have 3 powders here that I like. So I don't really know if I have, like, a purpose for this in my life. So this may go after the chopping block video. Okay, now we have concealers. So this one is in my project pan. It'll be gone eventually, so I'm gonna hold on to that. This LA Girl Pro Conceal Peach Corrector is too dark of a peach for my skin tone to actually correct the dark circles under my eyes, but I like mixing it in with one of my regular concealers just to kind of give it that peach tinge to help with the dark circles. So I'm gonna keep this as well. These 2 concealers from e.l.f. Flawless Concealer. I was so confident when I ordered these online that I would like them that I ordered them in 2 shades. And I absolutely hate it. It does nothing for my under eyes, but somehow it still settles into the lines. It still makes them look dry. So I hate this. These get to go. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer, on the other hand, so I have the hydrating one, I absolutely love. So I'm going to keep that. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh is also one of my favorites. It's pretty new to me, but I do really like it for kind of those lighter coverage days. So I'm going to keep this. I might even actually pick up like 1 shade darker as well. This one's definitely like a winter shade for me, and I think I would benefit from having a winter and a summer in this formula. This Maybelline Fit Me I'm kind of stuck on. I don't have a ton left in here. I know it looks like it's still full, but I've actually used a good chunk of this up, and it's just kind of coating the sides. And actually, I think that these formulas are really, really, really similar for me. They're both very thin and lightweight, but they still offer a decent amount of coverage. So I've been looking for a dupe for this, and it just occurred to me that I may have one in my collection, and the reason I haven't noticed it is because the Maybelline is in my summer shade. So I think I'm going to buy a second one of this ColourPop. I think that decided it for me, and I'm going to compare them directly. But for now, I'm holding on to the Maybelline. I might as well use it up. I love this concealer. Then the only other one here is the Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer, and I have the shade Light. And I don't love this. I've heard so many good reviews about it, and I've actually heard that this one is a dupe for that Maybelline Fit Me that I love in the cruelty-free world. But I disagree. I think it offers almost no coverage. But I am hesitant to let it go because I also think I haven't given it kind of its fair shot. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in my second chance, last chance, whatever I'm calling it, video to decide if I'm going to get rid of it or not. So these are going from e.l.f. and this one is maybe going after that chopping block video, but I'm keeping a healthy amount of concealer here. Hopefully this Maybelline will be gone soon, and then I'll be down to just kind of my 3 favorites. Okay, I've got mascara and brows, and then after this category, I only have foundation, and we're done. So I'm gonna first just split these up by category. Okay, so I currently have 4 mascaras open. However, these 2 are in my project pan, and hopefully they'll be gone soon. And this one is a waterproof mascara that I bought for attending a wedding, and now I'm holding it onto it at least until I have my own wedding to use it. I don't have strong opinions on this mascara as a whole because as I was saying, because I wear it with false lashes every time, so no super strong opinions on this, but I'm keeping it for the utility of having a waterproof mascara. And then I'll be down to kind of 1. I have some other mini mascaras that I want to open, including another Milk Makeup Kush mascara, which I love, so when this one's done, I'll swap over to that other mini that I have. But I really love this Essence mascara, so I really do want to try to use it up. So I'm keeping all 4, although hopefully 2 of them are gone very soon. And then I essentially have a similar story for my brows. This one is in my project pan. It's the Essence Brow Designer, but I also have a backup of this, so I'll probably rotate that in after a bit. I really like this brow pencil. It's super, super cheap, and I like the stiffer formula of it. It makes it easy to really control how much you're applying. The e.l.f. and the Essence brow gels, these are both tinted brow gels, and I'm keeping them both right now because I'm working on a dupes video. I do like both. I don't see a huge difference between the 2 of them. I have the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and I like this. I have a decent amount left, so I'll use this one up. I'm not sure if I'll repurchase it. I do like that it has the spoolie on the other end, but to be honest, I like my little Essence brow designer better for like the pencil end, and I don't mind just reaching for a spoolie separately if I need to. And then the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. This is going to be a staple in my collection forever. I just love this stuff. It's just a perfect clear brow gel. So not getting rid of anything here, but hopefully using one up soon, and then I'll work on this one after that and probably will not repurchase. Okay, and then I saved my foundation category for last because I think this is going to be even harder for me than like my eyeshadow collection. I have too much foundation right now. This is more than I will ever use. And to be honest, a lot of these do the same thing for me. So I just don't need to keep them all. And I should pass some along to people I know who would really appreciate some good, free, high quality makeup. So I think I'm just gonna work from this side to this side and just take them one at a time. This is the Sen Skin Silk foundation, and I love it. I have the shade 20, which is a little bit yellow and a little bit deep for me, especially in the winter. And it's super full coverage, so I haven't been using this much at all, but I cannot wait until I get back to the summer and I get to wear this again. So definitely keeping this stuff. The Ordinary Coverage Foundation. This is also pretty high coverage. I have the shade 2.0N, and it's the same exact story as the Sen. I bought it in the summer, and also this line runs super yellow. So I bought the neutral undertone, but it's very yellow. So if you're a neutral undertone or pink undertone at all, definitely get the pink if you're going for this Ordinary kind of complexion line. But I do love the finish this gives, so I'm definitely keeping this. Okay, I have two Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundations, and if I'm being totally honest with you, this is my favorite foundation of all time. This right here. I cannot find something, or I have not found something yet in the cruelty-free space that gives me what this gives me. It gives me perfect medium coverage. It's buildable, so on areas of my face where I want slightly higher than medium coverage, I can build it. It's perfect natural finish. It doesn't settle into my lines. It doesn't fade throughout the night. It doesn't rub off on anything. It is just such a flawless foundation. So I am going to use this on my wedding day, and then I think I'm going to pass these along to some people who I know would love them. So they stay, but they don't stay forever. The Urban Decay Naked Skin is probably the foundation that I've found that's closest to the Makeup Forever. I'd say these are actually pretty similar to each other. So I really desperately want to keep this in my collection, and I think they also discontinued this formula. But that right there is the exact problem. I've had this way too long, and it just needs to go. It is definitely expired. I have shade 3.5, which is perfect for me in the summer, and I regret having to let this guy go because I love it so much, but I can't put it on my face anymore, so there's really no reason to have it around. This Effaclar BB Blur Instant Oil Absorbing Coverage Cream Mousse. So this is from La Roche-Posay, and my older sister sent me this to try out because she had it for herself and didn't love it. Or didn't use it, whatever the case was. And I don't totally love this. I appreciate that it has sunscreen in it, but it's only an SPF of 20, and I need something higher than that anyway. It's an okay texture. It's like moussey, and it's fine. I never ever reach for it, so I'm gonna pass it on, see if someone else I know would like it. My Neutrogena Hydro Boost. I absolutely love this. It's in my project pan right now. And I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I need to let it go. It has turned. It is now expired. I definitely cannot use this anymore. So I'm keeping it like to the side of my collection because I want to touch on it in my project pan before I let it go. But just for the purposes of today, I'm going to set it with the things that I'm not keeping. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation is absolutely gorgeous. I have the shade Light 55N. I absolutely love this. It's a good medium finish. On my skin anyway, it's definitely more of like a dewy finish than for example, my Makeup Forever, which is like a very satin, plain, natural, like this is very like skin finish, whereas this definitely adds a little dew, a little glow, but I love it. The Range Beauty True Intentions Hydrating Foundation. So I have two of their very fair shades. I have the shade Paloma and Coconut Milk, and I'm really torn on this product. I don't think these are totally terrible, but that's about the best I can say for them. And when I have a lineup of other foundations that I love, it's a little hard for me to like want to hold on to these really badly. The reason that I don't love them is because I cannot apply them with a sponge. I cannot apply them with my fingers. I can only apply them with a brush, but they're such a thick consistency and low coverage that they end up very streaky on my face no matter what I do. They also oxidize pretty significantly, so it's a little hard for me to kind of get my shade right with them. And I actually bought Paloma in a very, very light shade, thinking I could maybe mix it in with some of my deeper foundations, like my Sen Skin Silk or something, to lighten it up to be able to like wear them year round. But the formula of this really messes with the formula of other foundations that I love. And so I've tried to mix it multiple times and it never, ever, ever works out. So I think it's probably realistic that I need to let these go, but I think these will maybe go in that last chance video, just so I can give them one more shot, because they're like brand new in my collection. I feel very guilty thinking I might let them go so soon. So I'll give them one more try. So for today, I'll put them in my pile of keeps, but just know they might go. The Ordinary Serum Foundation. I absolutely love this. I have it in the same shade that I have the Coverage Foundation, so 2.0N, and same story here. It's too yellow, but it's such a sheer product that it doesn't bother me with this one at all. I can even wear this like kind of in the winter, maybe not like right now in the winter, but like in the late into the fall, I can wear this. And then again, early in the spring, I'll be able to wear this as soon as there's any sun on my skin at all. So I absolutely love this formula, and I actually did a video, I'll link it up above and down below, where I compare the Ordinary and the e.l.f. And in my opinion, for my personal preferences, the Ordinary one, hands down, time and time again. So that can give you a hint that I am keeping the Ordinary, but I'm actually gonna let the e.l.f. go. I don't feel any allegiance to this. It's a small amount of product and I've used a decent amount already. So it's time for it to go. I'll see if anybody I know wants it. If not, I don't feel terrible getting rid of this one. I gave it its fair shot. And last up, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. I love this stuff. I have the shade Light 5N. It's perfect for me. You get so much product in here. You get 1.45 fluid ounces, so like 1.5 times the normal amount of a foundation, and I love the finish that this gives. So here are the 4 that are definitely gonna go. Here are the 2 that are on the chopping block. And then here are 2 that are probably gonna go right after my wedding. And if that's the case, then that leaves me with just these 5 products. And I feel okay about that. However, some of the shades concern me. For example, these 2 I can only wear in the summer, and these 2 I feel I can only wear in the winter. So I might need to do some finagling, or maybe look for, it looks like I could use probably like right here, one more medium coverage, really, really high quality foundation to replace my Sadness for the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. So I will probably be on the hunt for the product that goes right here eventually. Okay, so here is that finished bucket. It probably doesn't look that different to you, but it looks so much better to me. My concealers look less cluttered. My foundations, they're way less. They used to go all the way over here, and my lipsticks are no longer overflowing. All right, here is my bin of everything I'm decluttering. I know it's not a huge percentage, but it definitely clears my mind to focus on the things that I really, really love in my collection. And then here are the items that are going into that chopping block video. So I've got a primer. I've actually got basically a full face of makeup here, don't I? Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for bearing with me through this very, very long video. I hope you enjoy this. I hope this was fun for you to kind of see my thought process behind why I'm keeping certain things and how this fits into my no buy and low buy year. If you did enjoy this today, please consider subscribing before you go. I would love to have you join us here on my channel. And thanks again for watching. I will see you next time.